So you have an Ashe who has proven herself time and time again to be an absolutely deadly opponent when she does properly. They're all getting ready to take down that first red buff, whereas on the red team, they seem to just have one. No, they've got a couple of people around. Nope, just only one person, unless more people are going to jump up to get it. Yep, there we go. They're there to get the blue buff when it's bot, when it procs in. 30 seconds until all the buffs are up.
Pillow top.
I've got it this time. They're not just oranges. They're
And here we go. Oh, the nice first little intro. Just a few things being thrown at Quiana, and Quiana is just having to dodge back. She can't quite reach. And that first. Crud. Back to direct to camera. Sorry about that, guys. Still getting used to this whole thing. And we have Ashe. And I'm guessing that's Karma down at the bottom there, just trading evenly with them. Well, Nasus is just poking away, doing as much damage as he can. Oh, there it is. And that is Nasus. Yeah. Here we go. There's a nice little bit of first combat here. Ooh, and that is some decent damage against Thresh, but Thresh is just pulling it back with the help of his old buddy Gangplank. A pirate and some sort of demon monster from the Nightmare Realm. Jace and Nasus just trading above, and all in comes our jungle with Pantheon. Pantheon stunning him. Jace is going to bring some extra damage in. That little trade was good because it just sent Jace packing, because Jace had a higher level than Nasus, which means that it's going to cost him, and it's also cost a flash for next to nothing. And Jace is coming back in for some more right now, so let's take a quick second to look at that. I really do not like how I have to do this. There's Jace. He's coming in for another look. Take that to direct to camera. Just coming back in for another look, and he deals some damage to Nasus, but just not going to be able to hold it. And Ashe is just taking snipe shots into them. And sees off Gangplank. So he heads back to spawn. Don't know if he's buying or if he's just going back there to heal up a bit. The amount of time he's there, I have a feeling he's buying himself something, but I'm not sure what. And there we go, he's teleporting back in. And Pantheon is just running around in the jungle, doing his best jungling job. Quiana is just up there wondering where her buddy's gone to, warning her friends to be careful just in case her buddy's gone off somewhere else. And Jace and Nasus just trading off equally, both going after minions, leaving each other alone. Jace might take some pot shots here and there, but Nasus can't really do much against him because Nasus is melee. Jace's range is a really hard combination for melees, especially when you have the longer ranged weapon users, but there's always ways around it. I'm sure Nasus knows his ways around it. Oh, this is going to be a nice little bit of damage between Alakai and Quiana maybe, but nope. Both looking in, both coming out, and in comes a red team push onto the turret with Gangplank and Thresh leading the push. But they're not really doing much because they're a bit worried because they have both blue team members just standing there staring at them, daring to get a bit closer. And we've got a 4v2 going on down there. No one seems to have noticed it yet, and out they come with the jungle, and in they go for the attack. And Gangplank and Thresh are having to make a break for it. But that's managed to see off that threat to the tower, and it hasn't cost much. And it looks like Alakai is going to be staying around there. And Quiana is going to take this opportunity, as while they're all down there, to start having a little go at the minion turrets. And Alakai is coming back up to get her in just a second. heading back in, starting to deal some damage. And Kiana sees it and heads back, but ooh! In comes Gangplank trying to do some damage. With Thresh doing his best to deal some, but Thresh is just taking hits back there. But so far, this has been, with 5 minutes in, almost 6 minutes, neither team has managed to get a kill. However, there's almost a 600 gold lead for one over the other, which could be extended as time goes by. But for now, that's not too bad. And oh, we got a double team here going up against Alakai with Kiana and... well, looks like Evelyn coming in to attack. So Evelyn is acting as our red team jungler, and she's just coming out of the jungle and dealing some damage to help out Kiana. Just make sure I am saying that right, and it's Kiana, not Kiara. No, it's Kiana, because I kept calling her Kiara in my last practice run. I'm also probably badly butchering her name, because I've never heard it said. Oh, and in she comes to bring it down, and Alakai has had to go immortal. But someone else has come in with something and led a little bit of attack, and they forced to leave, and Ash and Karma are just down there doing some decent damage. I need to move this so I can see it a bit easier. I would recognise them if it wasn't for all their fancy skins, but I haven't seen them all with their skins on. And that's Jess are just having their little fights, little tips up above. Everyone is just pointing and gently poking in, making sure that no one is really going untouched. Jace comes in, does a bit more damage, but his main issue is he can't really use any special abilities against him. That might then lead to a bit more. Kiana looks like she's popped to R and has also used both her Flash and Ignite, which are two very important abilities to have. Oh, and in comes a big push here from Jace, and he just takes it and runs away. Does a decent amount of damage, but Nasus manages to match, and in comes Pantheon, and Pantheon just brings it down and does some damage. And Jace has to run away. Nothing he can do now except escape. Nasus is ready to pop his W, which I'm guessing does some decent damage. I don't know, I've never really touched Nasus before, unfortunately. And just gentle pushes. Both teams are just pushing their way in. No one's overly advancing or overly attacking. It's just gentle pushes. It's going to be a long, drawn-out match. The red team has managed to increase their gold lead to about 1,000 gold, which at this point doesn't seem like much, but when it gives you your first high-tier item, it really is a lot more than you think. If we take a quick look at our items, it looks like the blue team is well on their way to getting their better first item, whereas the red team is still trying to earn their way up there. And Jace and Nasus are just gently poking at each other, dealing roughly equal amounts of damage each time. And Kiana and Alakai are just swinging away at each other as best they can. Pantheon's coming in, talking about how she's in her rated are. Oh, and in comes the red team jungler. I don't know why she has done that so close to the turret. It has claimed Voyance and his Alakai, but was it worth it? And Pantheon's coming in to deal with the Kiana. And is this going to be a fall for Kiana or Pantheon? And Pantheon brings down Kiana, but he's low health. So for that little attack they got on Voyance, they have lost both their jungler and their mid laner. Jungler's back up, but so is the mid laner. Now both teams have the availability of the dragon right now, but no one seems to be interested in it, and I can understand why. This has been a very, very simple, gentle, quick, just take and push little moves, making sure nothing's really going in. And Pantheon is letting everyone know that Jace is ready for his R. So in this, it's just they've just had to completely pull back, and that turret is falling quite quickly. Thresh looks like he's going to maybe go he's put out a ward to make sure they're not going to hide in the bushes for their next push. And they're just starting their push and just won't say they're getting pushed back, but I would say Ash and Karma just have a massive advantage in that bottom lane. And Pantheon is coming in to bring down the Evelyn. And Evelyn is just really struggling here to keep up against Pantheon. With Alakai coming in, but Kiana's going down there to start attacking the Pantheon. What's going to happen here? Oh, we've got a big old group of them coming down for 2. We've got 4 going up against 2 potentially, with the jungler, the mid laner, and the 2 bottom laners coming up together. And with the other bottom laners, we've got a nice big old team fight. The first one here, but this is a bad move for our boys in red, because they're already so low health and they're just getting absolutely wiped out here. Down goes. That's 2 down for none on the blue team. And the blue team looks like it's going to really struggle here. They have done a fair amount of damage, but the blue team are just showing... Oh, and there's our first loss of blue team with Ashe going down. But they were just showing complete disregard for even the turret. Just the blue team went in there and just wiped out 3 of their members. Now they're popping a teleport to come back in and come back in. And Thresh has managed to get himself Remnant of the Ascended, which should hopefully give them a decent advantage. Let's take a look at Remnant of the Ascended. See what that does for us. Did say Thresh, right? Yeah. I'm guessing he's involved it into this. It's not available here, so he's got a high tier movement, which gives really nice health regen and a really nice health boost as well, with 200 and 125% base health regen. So for some heroes, a good base health regen almost makes them invincible. A Garen with a good health regen, or someone like that who's made to be tanky, made to just sort of stand there and get hit a lot with a good base health regen, is going to be absolutely devastating. I think that's what Thresh is going for, and they're starting to re-engage down the bottom, but we've got a little fight going up here in mid and in top. So at this point, everyone is starting to engage, and Nessus being thrown back because he can't quite match Jace's range. Oh, but Jace jumped in and he got paid for it. Nessus doing a decent chunk of damage. I don't fully understand why Jace has those jump-in moves and why he used them. It takes a lot of damage. And in comes Kiana down to the bottom. And bot's going to be facing 3 against 2. And down goes our first of our bots. That is the first fall, I think, for our Ashe. No, our Ashe has died already before. My bad. But is this going to be our first anything between these 2? Or not? And Kiana's going to go down, taking some damage. But is this going to be a fall for Kiana? Yes, Kiana goes down with the help of Alakai. Oh, but they've lost Pantheon. They've lost their jungler, and their Karma is so low health that I think that they're not going to care that the turret is there. They're just going to go in there, wipe it out, and run. Which is exactly what they do, and that was a very costly fight for the blue team. Losing 3 of their members, while 1 is already back up. Losing 3 of their members means that they're doing a lot of turret damage. And their turret's now down to 3 plates. And it's also increased the red team's gold lead by another almost 2,000. So once again, at this point, it doesn't seem like much when it allows you to get that second, third, and even maybe 4th top tier item. That's really going to make you suffer in the long run when they're able to get it first and able to do that extra damage and extra healing and extra everything just for you. Just that little bit before you. I've seen worse gold deficits, but this can still be pretty costly if you are not well prepared. Nasus goes down to wipe out another turret, another ward. And Ashe and Karma are right back in the action. Keeping eyes open. They've dropped a turret and in comes the damage. And this could be the end of our Thresh here. Both girls are absolutely hammering down on Thresh, and down goes Thresh. Ashe claims the kill with a lot of help. And Pantheon is going in to bring down Janice and the jungler. We lose Pantheon to that, but Nasus is coming in, and that damage from Nasus. Oh my god. That damage is absolutely devastating. And Jace has now bought the Black Cleaver for a huge damage boost, and I do believe it gives a health boost as well. So if you take a second to take a look at that, 400 health, 40 attack, and 20 cooldown reduction. That is very useful to have, especially if you're a skill-based hero. Having that extra 40 attack is always nice, and then that extra cooldown reduction is just brilliant. And for some heroes who are really squishy, that extra health is absolutely essential this mid-game, where they're just but your opposing team is just going to come in and do decent amounts of damage to you every second. And with that teleport, he's back in it almost straight away. Nasus has no real chance of really going for that. And there we go. Oh, Alakai going in doing some damage. But in comes our Evelyn with a nice bit of jungling. And oh, in with the support, our Karma. Roots down the Evelyn and does some damage. But they're just going to let her run away. It's not worth the push at this point. It could risk more. Now there's a bit of worry what's going on down below. And in comes our Karma with some extra damage on their Evelyn. And in comes Kiana. Evelyn goes down, but so does Alakai. And Kiana's now going to have almost no one there. And Ashe is all on her own, facing up against Gangplank and Thresh. But hanging by her tower, she cannot be stopped because her range is just at the edge of turret range. And with the Hextech Gunblade, that gives a huge advantage. Out comes Pantheon, steals the damage, gets a stun off. Does some damage. Oh, they lose their Alakai, but they also take out their Kiana. So mid lane currently has no heroes. And Nasus is coming in to attack Jace. Jace manages to send him flying back, but he is on his own for now. So he's having to pull back, and so is Pantheon. Pantheon is low health, but Ashe is there all alone. Are they going to go for the Mountain Drake now? So there has been pings going on the Mountain Drake, and this is a very late game for there not to be a single Drake left, but then that can always be the case. And it looks like the red team might be having a little look at that Drake and using their 2 down below to keep that Ashe away and hopefully keep others away. And that Ashe just manages to flash out the way, getting caught up in that attack. But Gangplank managed to bring her down. Are we going to also lose our Karma? Or is Karma going to hang on to Gangplank? No, they managed to get away. I got pulled away before I could comment on that. But Evelyn has managed to run away, and she lost her R in the process. With Alakai and we moved off to look at what's going on with Nasus and Jace. This has been a constant tit for tat sort of fight. However, it has to be said, Nasus has come out on top on every time with 1 kill, 0 deaths and an assist. Where will this fight go on from here? We are not sure. Will it carry on being Nasus dominating? Oh, and it looks like there might be an attempt on the Rift Herald, but Nasus managed to pop up that. Oh, and in comes Kiana, and down goes Nasus. Nasus has lost it, and in comes the rest of the blue team to try and recoup that loss by bringing down a few of the red. Down goes Kiana. Down goes Evelyn. And are they going to carry on moving, or are they going to leave it there? They're just going to leave it there and just sort of stand there taunting. So they may have lost their Nasus, and he's now on 1-1-1. But they managed to recoup their losses by bringing down 2 of the other team's members. And this fight has actually helped them pull it back. It is no longer such a massive gold deficit of nearly 2k. It's only about a 1k gold deficit now. And Pantheon is now holding the top line. But this is going to be the first turret loss here for the blue team, giving the red team a nice big turret boost. And Karma comes in with a bit of damage. Just taps on Thresh's shoulder. He says, hey, don't forget I'm here. Gives Ashe a nice speed boost. Pings them off, and Ashe comes in with the freeze. Karma manages to hook on. Down goes Thresh. Are they going to go up and take it down Gangplank? No, he manages to scrape his tower. They push a little bit far in, and they push the tower, and down goes the red team turret. Now, seconds after, and they managed to freeze in place the jungler, but she managed to flash away. Pantheon has pushed a bit too far in, and is potentially at risk there. And it looks like there's going to be a big team fight, and it looks like the blue team is at a severe disadvantage for this fight, with half of their team being there and all of them being low health, whereas almost the entirety of the red team has almost full health. However, they do have the range advantage over a lot of them. Oh, and that's a big hit on Ashe. They're managing to just fend them off with the use of Ashe and Karma's range on their lower range. Karma's going to go back, as is Ashe. They're going to go heal up and buy some equipment, hopefully. And Alakai is around to try and stop any procs on the dragon, but it looks like the red team is getting ready for a dragon fight. And Kiara is going down. She's at half health now. She used her top stopwatch, I'm guessing, to keep herself alive, and she's had to run away and then go off and regain her health. They still haven't gone after the Mountain Drake yet, because I think they think it's a bit too dangerous. Because all the teams are back up and back in position. And I think the red team was looking at getting a Mountain Drake, but thought, I'd rather not. And, oh, is this Thresh going in alone? No, Thresh has gone to put down a wall to make sure that no one's going in there without them knowing. Oh, and there's something going on up top. Oh, and Jace manages to take out that turret. Oh, and what is this? Thresh tries coming from behind, but Ashe is having none of it. But I think Ashe is going to have to suffer it. She falls down and she leaves him with such a tiny amount of health. But Thresh has survived. Or has he? With Karma coming in to do some damage. No, Thresh has managed to escape out of here alive, and he will probably recall back to base. This will be the time. Yep, the red team is looking at maybe going in for that dragon kill. Oh no, they're going up for a big mid push to try and bring down the mid laner and deal some damage up to the mid lane turret. And down goes Alakai, and in comes the jungle, in comes the support. And oh, that was a big hit taken on him. But she carried on her push, and she took some serious damage from that turret, causing her to have to leave. And I think they've used up Evelyn's R. But Gangplank is now just hanging up around there, and Evelyn's down below looking at Ashe going for the attack. And Evelyn is coming in on Ashe, just do some damage, and she is going to get stunned. In comes Karma for the assist, but Gangplank blocks off their escape with his big old AoE attack. And in they all come, all pushing mid. Except for Jace, who's still up top, and Evelyn, who's running around in the jungle. I need to stop with the ums, but this is my first proper one. Here we go. Evelyn is hanging around the red guy. I'm not sure why. Maybe she's hoping someone will come and have a go. Yep, she was waiting for Pantheon to come and have a go. Now she's going to come in and get that sneak attack on Pantheon, and Pantheon's just going to have to leave that alone, and Evelyn's just going to take it. That's a red buff for the red team. Now they're all retreating back because they know the entire blue team is coming for them. Ashe comes in with that, tries to get her R and whiffs it by trying to be preemptive, and she pulled back. Evelyn whiplashes, pops her little R that gets her out of there alive, and down goes one. Blue team's lost another turret. Down goes. Oh no, Alakai's managed their way, but no, as Alakai going down, Alakai has gone down. This looks like it's quite a good fight, with Nasus trying to stay alive and doing some serious damage, but 3 versus 1, I'm not sure he can manage it. Thresh is just down there poking at the other team, and oh, that's some big damage, and down goes one. Is Nasus going to bring down another while they go after Pantheon? Yes, and now Nasus comes after another one. Is he going to get a second kill, or is he going to die? Nasus has done some serious damage to everyone. He's managed to bring down a third one. Is he going to go after Jace and get another kill? Because Nasus is now on a triple kill with that last move. But nope. Jace is going to get away, and they're down to 2. And this is the perfect time, Nasus says, to get me some nice dragon buff. So he's going to go in there and wipe out that dragon buff. But in comes Kiana, sorry. And oh, Jace is being very, very careless with this, and he's going to go down to a minion. I'm not quite sure why Jace went down to a minion like that and didn't just head back to base, but he made his choices and he went down, and now he faces a 30+ second respawn time. And in goes Evelyn for that wolf attack, and I was just staring at thinking why she is such low health. And Thresh comes and has a look at Nasus. Did you learn nothing from last time? Nasus sees them off with a little backhand and says, nah. Down goes the red team turret. I did not see Alakai up there doing damage to it. And Evelyn is going after the blue minion for the blue buff and giving herself that blue buff and then going after Toadie. What did that poor old Toad do to anyone else? And Nasus has purchased the Frozen Heart, which, if we take a moment to look at that, gives a lovely boost of mana and armor and a really nice cooldown reduction. And as well, that reduced attack speed will give him a huge advantage in the next fight because they will not be able to do anywhere near as much damage with their base attacks. Nasus is ready to teleport back in when necessary, but he is just heading back up where he's going. This fight has been fairly even, with blue team coming out on top most of the time in team fights, yet red team is ahead in both towers and gold. And Ash is gently pushing forward, and we have Evelyn just waiting, hidden in the bushes, hoping that Ash pushes just far enough ahead that she can make that push. And I think she's getting bored now. She sees Pantheon coming. She makes that push. She risks it going into where the turret is. Pops her ulti to get away. And Thresh now grabs onto Karma and tries to pull her into his arena. Karma's having none of it. Gets away. The blue team's having none of it. And this is going to be the fall for Thresh. Down goes Thresh. There. And is this going to be a fall? No. Alakai goes down to Evelyn. But, despite that fact, Evelyn is having to be on the retreat because she did a lot of damage. And in comes the blue team hoping to get some revenge. Nope. Oh, we almost lost Karma there to Evelyn, but Pantheon coming in with that save, and Karma is really low health here. She's going to have to consider heading back to the heal up, or to just run the heck away and try and keep her health regen up. Now in comes Pantheon and Nasus into the mid lane, trying to start popping at these guys, and Ash is also such low health, but she managed to pop off her ulti straight into Jace, and in comes Pantheon to attack Jace. And with that stun, Ash is coming in as well with her attacks. Ash goes down. In comes Kiana, sorry, not Kiara. In comes Kiana trying to do some damage, and Pantheon is just like, nah, you're going down. So is Nasus, and Nasus is trying his best, but then in comes the others with Thresh and Gangplank trying to keep her alive. And in goes another attack. Is this going to be a hit? Yes, it is, inside his arena. Nasus gets hit, which does a huge amount of damage to his opponents. Take a moment just to think about Nasus's gorgeous little arena attack there that does a huge amount of damage and almost closes off the lane. If you get caught out in that and you're not prepared, you're going down to it. So Evelyn's heading now out into the bushes. And we're having two go back, and we're potentially seeing the fall of the second turret on the mid lane, and down goes second turret mid lane. All that's left on mid lane is the Nexus turret, and down goes Ash. Thresh getting a wonderful little hold on her and sending her flying. So that lovely little attack of, I missed that because I was reading up on Nasus' attack, reduces armor right down. So that way you're just susceptible to be hit so much harder. And, oh, Nasus got caught, but he was around the corner, didn't get pulled in. There's that armor reducing thing. And, oh, down goes one. Alakai coming in for the save, and that's another one. Are they going to risk stepping onto the Spirit Fire? No. They're just standing just off the edge of the Spirit Fire. And there's Spirit Fire, and oh, there was a hope there that it was going to do some damage. And a whiff from Ash's bow. That's something you have to be really careful of with an Ash, that you don't just whiff that. It doesn't matter as much with enough cooldown reduction. But at this level, without a huge amount of cooldown reduction, you have to be really careful you don't completely whiff that. And all with that nice little stealth attack, Ash is destroyed. Now they're going to try and get some revenge, but Pantheon is overextending and he's gotten caught out. But with that nice little hell Spirit Fire arena from Nasus, he managed to do a huge amount of damage to Kiana. And Kiana is now going to head into the arena with Thresh. And are they going to go for that Cloud Drake, or are they going to run away? Because there is that risk of the entire blue team coming down on them. And oh, that damage! That hit damage on that Evelyn. That Nasus just dropped in. Nasus being slowed and held back a bit by knockback attacks, and Nasus is falling down, but he's got his armor up, and Jace is in there, and Jace managed to pull back. But they've managed to get a few stuns off, and in they go. That looks like a nice arena for someone else. Nasus manages to do that, but Nasus has been pulled in, and down goes Nasus, drawn into the turret with a full team coming down on him. There was no hope of survival. Karma is just firing off everything she can to stay alive as she runs away. As Thresh goes into the lane to see what they can do. I have a feeling if they manage to bring down another one, or even now, I have a feeling this might be a Baron attack. So Alakai has bought the Moral Anonomicon, which gives a nice boost to a lot of different skills. I just want to bring your attention down quickly to this little thing down here. Look how little kills there were in the first 10 minutes of the game. For the first 10 minutes of the game, we were barely any kills, and the blue team had next to no kills until the 9th minute, at which point they got absolutely devastatingly powerful. So let's just have direct camera back on, and down goes the Cloud Drake, giving the blue team their first Drake. And it looks like the red team might be going for the Baron, but no, they changed their mind as they get a stunned Thresh. Thresh tried to make an escape, and he manages it, and in comes Kiana to bring down Karma. Down she goes. Ashe is sending in her bows and her bows. She throws bows at people, her arrows. Sends out a nice spread. Jace is back there, such low health. Another little spread of arrows. Just constantly sending out the spread arrows to see as much damage she can do. Well, the red team has claimed their first Drake. Is this going to be the fall of the middle turret? That was some heavy hits, and the middle turret has gone down. That is a huge advantage in the fight for both teams, because it gives them that longer distance to do damage over. So the blue team is going to be very happy they had that, because they did not have anywhere near as much room to fight in as they did before, because in the middle lane, right in the centre, they had to run all that way back, whereas blue team just had to do a short little run back. Our next dragon is going to be the Elder Dragon, which gives a nice strong boost across everything, and back goes Pantheon to heal up. And in they go to do some damage, and Nasus is just sort of hanging around the background. Not quite sure if he wants to go in yet, and I don't quite blame him, because these guys are very strong. We are now evened up, but there is almost a 5k gold advantage here for the red team, which is really not good. Especially at this level, when they can start buying themselves, as we are seeing. Kiana's bought herself Sterak's Gauge. Thresh has bought himself the Locket of Iron Solari, and Jace has bought himself the Last Whisper. Let's take a look at those items, because those sound like high tier items. So Kiana has bought herself the Sterak's Gauge. Oh, and in they come, and that's doing some decent damage. Oh, and down. Ashe just survives, but nope. No, she does not. That's sorry, that was Karma, not Ashe. But they managed to bring down Kiara, and that's a fair, equal trade. But the blue team is now surrounded by the red team. And in gets... Oh, and down goes Nasus. It is going to be a fall for Pantheon as well. They're going right after him. Oh, and this is going to be a fall potentially for Alakai as they go in. And yes, Thresh goes forward and down goes Alakai. That's a 3-for-1. Excuse me, sorry. For the blue team. And the blue team now goes, you are no threat to us. In we go for this lovely turret. Ashe is trying to do her best to drum away. But Jace is just like, nah. Sorry, love. Nope. And that's an ace for the red team. While they did manage to get a shutdown and bring him down, he is now out for a minute. There's still a long old while before they're back. So let's take a moment now. Take a look at some of the items that these guys have. Black Cleaver. Yuma's Ghost Blade. Duskbar. Last Whisper. All four of these are huge attack boosts. So if you have a look at this, he has now over almost 200 attack boost. Let's take a look at this one. The ability power boost that she has on this is absolutely ridiculous. with probably close to 300 attack boost. Ability power boost. Which means that her abilities do almost 300 more ability damage than they should do. I don't know if it's a percentage or if it's a physical thing, but it does so much more damage. And Kiana's gone for attack damage and some health because she was getting whacked. Blackbeard's got his Trinity Force, his Infinity Edge, his Yuma's Ghostblade, and his Zeal for attack speed and damage and critical chance. And Thresh has gone for a tank as hell build. Meanwhile, we still have a Doran's Blade on the red team. They're still building up towards their next big items. In fact, they only have 3 big items as well as their movement boots. So that gold damage boost is a huge, huge issue. Where we have the red team with all their final items, or close to their final items. The red team's only got 2 or 3. So unless the blue team has gone for some seriously expensive items, this is a real bad problem. And now that gold deficit is carried on improving, and you can see the damage it's doing. That gold deficit. Because while it doesn't seem like much, that extra 300 attack ability damage that Evelyn has, I mean, she does ridiculous amounts of damage with her Q, with her R, with her E. And that extra damage that just everyone has, and that extra help just means that they're dominating. With that almost 10k gold boost. Which is really hard to come back from. At this point, our blue team is going to literally just have to play defensively until they can pull it back and potentially push some stuff up. Gangplank's gone for the static shiv, which is a lovely little boost. And longsword, so Gangplank is going for his next big item purchase with 3 big items on his way to 4th, and it's now 33 for 29. These last few minutes of this game have not gone well for the red team. Where they used to be dominating in team fights, they are now really suffering in them. Because blue team has really started to come into their own in how they're fighting, and the blue team doesn't seem to be really going and picking people. They seem to be splitting off, and Nasus is going in on his own repeatedly. And yes, he is doing ridiculous amounts of damage, but it is not a good idea to go anywhere on your own in this game. Because in goes, in they go, and that's a huge hit on Evelyn. But look how low Nasus' health is. Can he bring it back? No. Down goes Nasus, and we may see them pulled down. Gangplank. But Evelyn's now going to come in and clean that up. Thresh has got someone. Evelyn's going to go in for Karma potentially. Evelyn's chasing down Karma, but in comes Ash. Ash pulls off a stun, which manages to turn it around and give them a single kill. That's now 2 down. Now 2 for 2. Is this going to become 3 for 2 for one team, or is this going to carry on being equal? Blue team tins down another one. That is a 3 for 2 advantage on the blue team. Kiana's now bought the Black Cleaver, which gives a huge health boost and a nice strong attack boost. Thresh is heading home, making sure he's nice and safe. Whereas the others are just hanging around. Alakai has had to go back to base to protect their turrets from the super minions. As is Ash. They both have to go back to protect themselves. This is why losing that inhibitor turret at any point is such an issue. Because now they always have to go back to try and stop those super minions from destroying their turrets. So now, instead of being able to take advantage of that 3 for 2, they're having to not do it. And in comes Jace, I think, going for the Elder Dragon. Thresh is coming in maybe to support. No, they just went down to put a line of sight there so they can make sure no one was going in to attack that while they weren't paying attention, or was hanging around behind while they went for the attack. And there we go. They're going in for their attack now. But they're going to come. But in comes the blue team trying to do some damage. They've all pulled back and left the blue team alone, and they're just hanging there waiting to do damage to the blue team. And the blue team answers back with a vengeance, dealing some huge damage to them with Nasus. But Nasus is hurt bad. But could this be a nice turnaround for the blue team? Down goes 1, down goes 2. Is this going to be a 3rd? Yes, it is. Triple kill without cost of any, but this could be the end of Nasus if they are not careful. And in comes Kiana, and it's an ace for the blue team. They managed to turn this around, and look at that big old chunk of blue on the timeline. Down goes Elder Dragon. getting their buff, and now they're going to have to pull back ASAP, heal up, and they're potentially going to go after Baron if they can. 27 left on Baron, and the any team's going to be back up to full strength in 30 odd seconds, and we have an almost full strength blue team here, with Ashe being the only weakness, and Ashe takes down that minion push, no problem. So is this going to be a return push up, or is this going to be a Baron attack? The blue team is all fully powered up and ready to go, and the red team is only just going out. So are they going to manage to do it in time? The red team is coming in as fast as they can to try and stop this Baron because they know it is going on. And down goes that thing, and in they come. Red team has just started pouring in, but are they going to manage to do it before they manage to do these final 3,000 points damage? No, they do not. Baron goes down to the blue team. That is a huge boost to the blue team's help, because it gives such an advantage in their attack, and in comes a massive pullback. But Kiana's going to go, no, I'm not letting you pull back. Nash has purchased herself the Blade of the Ruined King for that extra damage. That sudden change has completely turned this battle around. Gone is that 10k disadvantage, and now it's only up to a couple of thousand, which at this point in time is not that much. Early on in game, a couple of thousand gold disadvantage would be a huge amount, but at this point in time, a few thousand gold disadvantage is barely any at all, and they're going for a big old mid lane push, trying to return the damage they did with a vengeance, and they have to be careful. So they have people coming in from behind, and Kiara and Evelyn is going straight across the back, unseen by everyone. And are they grouping up for an attack, or are they just sort of hanging around waiting for something to happen? So it looks like the entire red team is just hanging around, and Evelyn looks like she's coming from the back, and they're just completely ignoring the fact it's them being attacked by the turret and wiping out that first turret into the second turret. They are now equal in the middle lane turrets. Are they going to manage to bring down the inhibitor this time? Yes, down goes the inhibitor. No! Is this going to be a fall for the inhibitor? And Evelyn comes in, but Ashe brings down Kiana. Down goes the inhibitor thanks to the minions and a bit of help from Nasus. Are they going to carry on pushing this into the turrets? This is going to be very risky if they do. They're pushing the attack in, and they're taking damage. Oh, someone's got Guardian Angels. They're coming back up. Yep. Pantheon is coming back up, and the Siege minion is now attacking from outside the turret range. So now they're going to have those two Siege minions now attacking from outside turret range. First Nexus turret goes down. Second Nexus turret is now under attack, and they've pushed them back. That's the second turret. That is now the Nexus. What a turnaround for the blue team. I was not expecting that. The blue team was at a huge disadvantage for so long, with a difference of 4 turrets, and they just came back after that Baron kill to completely win it. What a comeback for that blue team.